Well, let me show you how to make a $10 greenhouse in about 10 minutes. Keep your plants nice and warm, grow them out, harden them off. Couldn't be easier. Let me show you how to do it. Okay, so first of all, I'm driving some stakes in the ground. Now, when I say it's a $10 greenhouse, you'll see that I'm giving you some options here. You can use, these are 2x2 stakes that I sharpened at end, and you can use that, or you can use some sticks, that you find on the ground, whatever it takes to make a teepee-like structure. Now, I'm not looking for level here. I'm looking for a little bit slanted, about a full bubble slanted to one side, because I want the rain to run off and not just puddle, because this particular one is going to be flat. Now, you've got options to do one that is not flat. You'll see in a minute why I'm making this with 4 stakes instead of just 2. Instead of just a teepee-like structure, I'm making kind of a flat roof on this one, and I'll show you why in just a minute. My plants are just so big that I needed the extra width at the top, and also for it to spread out, because the plants would be touching the plastic, and I was afraid that could burn them. If it's a teepee, you can make it level. If it's like this, you may want to have it slant to one side, to either the right or the left of the screen here, to let that rain run off. You don't want the rain collecting on top of this. So here I've got rebar on mine. It's just something I have laying around. Again, you can use 2x4s or 2x2s in the ground, or tomato stakes in the ground and 1 tomato stake across the top, and just form a teepee. I'm doing it this way, again, because my plants are so big. The tub I've got them in is so wide, and that's what it's just the way I need to do it. Now, this is simply a clear plastic shower curtain. I paid less than $9 for it at Dollar General, and this particular one is one that I replaced in my home. So here's my plants, my tub with the plants in it. And I like to keep plants in a tub like this because I can water from underneath. I keep about a ½ an inch or so of water in it, and that's the best way to water seedlings, or in my opinion, if you water from underneath. When you spray them from on top, they can get fungus, they get disease, and that water can beat them down pretty good. Now, you've got to keep it level so everybody gets the same amount of water. I told you a while ago I didn't measure it real well, and I made it tight. I am just barely getting that inside those stakes. I should have measured a little more carefully, and I wouldn't have had that problem. So I'm just draping the plastic over, again, just a cheap plastic shower curtain. Gonna make the greenhouse. These shower curtains are 6 feet by 6 feet. I think most of them are probably that size. So you'll have to plan your greenhouse accordingly, depending on how far you want to drape over on the ends, how far you want it to teepee out right and left from the pyramid, from the top of it. I'm using landscape staples. This is, again, something I had on hand. You can use tent pegs, you can use big nails, you can use sticks, you can use bricks to weight it down, something to weight down the plastic, or to hold down the plastic, and keep the wind from knocking it off. Again, these staples were just something I had laying around. I've got a lot of stuff laying around. Pulling it tight, and you'll see why I'm slanting it from end to end, and it's because that flat roof could collect water. If you've just got just a teepee type structure with just 2 uprights and a crossbar, then you won't have to worry about that, because the water will shed off that teepee roof easily. All right, now if you know anything about greenhouses, you know they get warm inside. So I suggest that every day, without fail, you open it up. You open at least one end up, if not two, and let it breathe. Let the air come through there, because it can get hot in a greenhouse. It can be 70 degrees outside and be 110 inside of a greenhouse, and you can cook your plants quick. So be careful about that. But this makes just a simple, easy, cheap way to harden off your plants, to let your heat-loving plants like tomatoes and peppers get sun as well as get some extra heat, kick them into high gear, and make them grow fast without spending a lot of money on a greenhouse. Now, there it is, all staked out, and no, it didn't look quite that grungy when it was in my bathroom. It's been in the barn for about a year. Not quite that grungy. But you can make it shorter, left to right there. You can make it shorter and be able to close the ends up at night if you want to. But this works real well, and we'll make a nice little greenhouse for just a little bit of nothing. $10 in about 10 minutes. You can't beat that. All right. Build you one. We're gone.